Morning, officer.
Maybe this is the pot calling the kettle black. This guy thinks he's a genius and he's a moron.
Good news, everyone.
Y2K! Y2K! Oh no! Think of like the dumbest cave troll let you know.
You looked right at me when you said that.
You're not the dumbest.
Here are the facts as I see them.
We are so back, everybody. Welcome, Bandit Radio Hour. It's been like a couple month hiatus, but we found time to get together and not be adults for like an hour and a half.
We're not dead.
No, we're not. We made it. We made it through the Florida summer. We just got through a hurricane, but it's
More of a hurricane. I mean, North Florida is not happy right now.
Hurricane was excellent, by the way, for the record. That was a good one. Welcome, everybody. Bandit Radio Hour. Thank you all for tuning in. This is fun to do. Again, I've missed it. I need to scratch the itch, and not that itch.
They make a cream for that.
They do, but I like ignoring instructions. But no, dude, summer, you flew a lot.
Yeah.
How was that?
It wasn't as intense as the year before was, but it was still pretty wide open. Made it through, safely.
Illinois.
I don't have to go back anymore either, and
Yeah.
I love it. If you're from Illinois, I'm sorry, your state sucks. But,
I have no real opinion of the state of Illinois. I just know some of the politicians it's produced, and I'll just leave it at not a fan. Figure it out. But I digress. Yeah, dude. But my summer, had both my kids, and that's a big part of the reason. Well, you were flying, and you got all the equipment in the studio. That's a bunker inside of a swamp. Literally this time. Not literally on the bunker. It's a trailer. But inside a swamp, literally, like it's flooded outside.
It's been wet. Like I said, the hurricane, we didn't get anything but just a lot of water.
Between the hurricane and the after showers, and it's been, yeah, we're wet. But we needed it. We needed a bath. We always do in Florida. It's sticky. But no, so yeah, summer was like both the kids watching, like, they're 9, and it's finally like the age I can start showing them, like, I started off the summer saying, I'm going to show y'all a little bit of scary movies. And like by mid-June, I'm like, y'all want to watch The Thing? Y'all want to watch 30 Days a Night? Let's crank it up to 12. Let's do it.
Did you have any where you were like, I might have gone too far?
30 Days of Night, just on the, like, how mercilessly the vampires just slaughter people.
Yeah.
I looked, because, like, my son, all right, he's the horror aficionado, and he's like, I've heard of The Thing, and we watched The Thing, and there were some moments that, like, made him jump and scared him. But also, he lives, like, in northern Michigan most of the time, so 30 Days of Night set up north. And he's like,
ooh.
Yeah, he's like, ooh, I'm like, is this scary? He's like, yeah, this is a little scary. So I asked my daughter, she's like, as long as it's not real, I'm fine. I can mentally block this out.
What's a good, like, based on real event horror story?
Wasn't The Strangers based on the
Is that
Charles Manson murders? I mean, he didn't murder people, but he talked people into it. I heard it's loosely based on
I haven't
them.
seen that one. That's the one they had, like, bags over their heads and stuff. I remember the previews.
It was pretty scary, but there's that one point in the movie, like, that was a very scary movie.
I'll say I'm not big on scary. I don't watch scary movies.
No, you don't.
I don't like being scared.
Merce likes to survive.
Yeah, like it's like no. Why would I watch like?
And he's Mr. Butterfingers in the movie.
Yeah, like I could watch cartoons, or I could be terrified for the next 2 hours.
Cartoons are pretty good.
Yeah, it's.
But no, it was The Strangers. I remember that scared me until there's one point in the movie where it's like one of the protagonists, one of the good guys, are like hiding in a room with a shotgun, and these serial killers with bags on their heads have been moving around. And like he's waiting with a shotgun, and like another good guy comes in through the front door and is like, "Hey, Jeff, you there?" And like goes walking back, and he freaking shoots John or whatever, like in the face. And I'm like, "What? I saw this coming. That was one of those things that just ruined." Welcome to the Bandits movie reviews.
I don't know why I was randomly. They call that something like if there's like a machete or like a weapon, if there's something you see or notice, it has to be used later. It's like
Chekhov's gun.
Yes, yeah, that's what it is.
Nerdiness kicked in. It was one of those, like you see the shotgun earlier in the movie, and you kind of know like, oh, they're going to use this to obviously finally kill the bad guys, and they don't. By the way, hang on, have you ever seen Funny Games?
No.
Dude, it was a mental movie, and it's like the gist of it, it's like really classic horror trope of this family goes on vacation to their lake house in like New England, And while they're there, these two like almost twin teenage boys show up and just start torturing them pretty much. Like they're very charismatic. They're very weasel their way. But halfway through, the reason I bring it up, halfway through the movie, like one of the characters finally gets smart and like grabs these guys have been outsmarting them in every turn. One finally grabs a shotgun, like shoots him in the chest. And the twin brother's like, no, you can't do that. That's not how this goes. And he grabs a DVD remote and hits rewind. And the movie rewinds itself to where his brother like gets unshot and he grabs the gun and is like, "That's rude. You're not supposed to kill us like this. Like this is horrifying. This is bad."
It's like The Sims.
Yeah, like he reverses time with the DVD remote, and like that's one of the ones that messed with me as growing up. I'm like,
what was
they don't have alternate.
I could never get through like the first 10 minutes of Ernest Scared Stupid. The troll. That was so terrifying to me.
That troll, they did a good job. That looked scarier than the horror movie that was used for Killer Clowns from Outer Space. That with the warts coming off of its nose.
Yeah, it was just like that opening scene where like he's like got the kid by the ankle and turns him in like, and it's just, oh no, I couldn't do it. It was something about the scene just being chased.
Did you ever watch the movie Trolls growing up? And not like trolls like the dolls with the hair. No, like it was like a horror movie about like trolls that live under the basement. My brother Matt was telling me about it, and like I got a niece and nephew. He's like, I watched this at their age. I'm gonna like check it out for him. He's like, how did we ever watch this?
I watched like 10 minutes of the Leprechaun because like I can remember turning it on because I was thinking, oh, like Lucky Charms.
Leprechaun scared me.
Yeah, and he's like the golden nugget, and then I was like.
What? Say that again.
The golden nugget.
That was way too good. That was way too awesome of a voice impression.
And it was yeah.
Do you remember Leprechaun in the Hood?
No, see, I didn't.
I remember seeing that at Movie Gallery, and it's like Snoop Dogg's in there, Coolio or somebody.
That would make sense.
Yeah. It was like number 8.
I don't know. Like I said, anything scary, I just was not my cup of tea. Still to this day, I can't even think of the last scary movie I've actually watched. Probably.
It was those I watched, and like it was cool because my daughter got to see like, and my son got to see some of the older horror movies like Alien, where there is like.
Can honestly say I've never seen Alien. Dude,
Alien's good. It's not that scary. It's just
I've seen enough of it, enough cutscenes to know the premise of the movie.
Right.
But didn't see it because when I watched Predator scarred me.
Predator's great.
Because
Predator's the ultimate.
This is how I got introduced to Predator. We're at my dad's buddy's hunting camp, and it's like 10, 11 o'clock at night, and they're going to go out for a buggy ride, to go hunting, and I couldn't go. Looking back on it, they wanted to just go drink and ride like all night long and stuff. And so
without their children.
So what they do, they left me alone in the hunting camp. Like, we'll put a movie on for you. They put on The Predator
with Jesse the Body Ventura
and left me by myself watching The Predator. Dude, no.
The Predator.
They came back and they said I was sleeping underneath the cushions of the couch. Like, not on the couch. Like, I was like...
An invisible monster with glowing eyes that skins people apart.
How old
were you?
I was probably like 10.
That's great. That's good age.
I was old enough to be left alone, but still clearly terrified. And
next summer, I'll show him Predator.
But, yeah. So I think just like my few run-ins with like scary movies it was just like, nope, this is not something I enjoy. And
although my son totally tried me, and I'm like, there's a lot of crazy things people believe. I can't remember at what point I said that, but I was like, I was explaining something. He goes, "What's something you believe?" And just off the cuff, I'm like, I don't know, dog-headed people. Nope, nope, shut up. Don't really believe it. Don't tell anybody that, son. They'll look at you like you're crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have been back for 9 minutes, and dog-headed people
have returned.
Has managed to already make its way back to the podcast.
Between that, Nephilim, and a whole lot of other things, I've been wondering lately, but I'm just going to put that to the side. Y'all stay over there. That might be for a future episode. There's
maybe Dog-Faced Pony Soldier had more of a meaning than we thought.
Dude, God bless Michael Malice. He shared the clip, and I know it's taken out of context, but I don't care. It's something about how I don't know, Trump has reduced the civility of politics. But then he just shows a clip of Elizabeth Warren, and the quote is, "Fat broads and horse-faced lesbians." And I'm just like, and that's it. It's like a second and a half of her just saying "fat broads and horse-faced lesbians." And I know she's saying some racist said this or something like that. I'm like, that's beautiful. between her and Mitch McConnell going mute twice, and Joe Biden probably crapping his pants. And,
who's the other one?
Me Googling who's the retarded senator, and Google tells me it's John Fetterman.
Not even John Fetterman. Who's the old lady?
Oh, the one that's like dead but still alive.
Yeah, her daughter has power of attorney over her.
I was about to say Susan B. Anthony, but it's not her.
No, I can Feinstein.
Yeah,
like
Frankenstein.
Yeah, and she was like trying to like make a vote, and they're like, just say yes. Just like the people behind. At this point, they're just using them as like
her
pawns.
aides are like, stay alive. We need this paycheck.
Yeah, it's like like Ginsburg.
Yeah, that one.
That was in the Supreme Court.
Yeah, that one. No, dude, these people, and Dave Smith brought this up. It's like, and he's a Gen Xer, and we're more, sadly, we are kind of millennials. We're like right in that. Although, if you're a millennial and you were raised in a small town, you're more of a Gen Xer.
Yeah, like, when
in the South, let's be real.
I was explaining that to somebody like in Orlando. I was like, I feel like coming from a small town, we're like a generation behind everything.
We always are. We kept the hippies out of here until like the 80s.
But,
for good
but yeah,
measure.
like I said, I remember like the millennial talk was coming out, everybody was like making all the comparisons. Like I never really felt like any of it applied to me, but I feel like we're like an in-between.
Yeah.
Like we don't belong either.
Well, like your dad.
Or like we don't belong in, apparently affordable housing either.
Hell, what did you tell me your dad remembers? What they brought to this part of DeSoto County?
Power?
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad was born in 1954. And they did not have power in his home.
Yeah.
Like they live way out here. I mean, they had power in Arcadia and stuff, but they lived so far out here.
You had to go to town to get it.
Yeah, they didn't have it, and it was going to cost so much money for them to run it, and then it was fine. I mean, eventually they finally got it, but
dude, how many
they had an ice box?
Yeah, literally a box. You put your ice on the top or on the bottom of it.
Yeah, it's like just sometimes like the side.
Heat rises so top.
Yeah, they just put a big block of ice in, and
that's wild. What, you see that in Old Brother Where the two little black kids walking down the road, and they got like a wagon with a big ice block in it, and they're carrying the other one, and it's like you had to walk like so. And dude, to this day, out on State Road 70, I see people just thumbing it from town to town, and I'm like, y'all are doing it the old way. Y'all are dirty hobos now.
I was gonna say, I think they're doing it the only way.
They are, the old way. That was the default human travel method. Hey, give me a ride.
Or as back then everybody did just kind of walk and get around, but I was thinking that going through Orlando, like it's just so massive in metro. Like you can't even like walk across Orlando hardly with just the massive interstates, and it's like literally a jungle to get around.
Yeah, no, thank you. I've only been to Orlando, like take aside Disney World trips, which have been like twice in my life, 3 times really. I've only been to inside Orlando like twice in my life.
I've been there more
for
than
good
I
reason.
That's where I'm going to school, and in Orlando, it is what it is. I mean, it's just a super busy city. The problem is there's the suburbs on the outside
that you have to get through to get to it.
Well, they're becoming that. Like Lake Alfred, there used to be nothing there. Like
no, I never went that far north, but yeah.
Oh, well, anyways, like Lake Alfred, which is like basically between, say, Orlando and Lakeland.
Okay.
It was like just orange groves, and you went up there, and like, I guarantee you they have probably put in over 1,000 homes right there at the interstate, and they're being built and stuff. They're just massive subdivisions going in everywhere. So now the traffic starts like 20 miles before Orlando, and it's just from the people trying to get onto I-4 to get into Orlando. It's insane. Like it's literally turning into like the suburbs of like Chicago and places where it's just like growing out, and it's
Orlando's growing south, the East Coast growing west, and the West Coast is growing east.
Like we're full. PSA, we're full.
We're old men complaining about people moving here.
There's hurricanes, there's iguanas, there's killer alligators.
Pythons. We got pythons.
There's pythons. There's malaria now. There's Florida man.
There's Florida. By the way, we're going to be doing more Florida man eventually.
It's expensive. You can't afford it.
Right.
Like, sorry, we're full.
Although, man, I still think, as much as it's growing, and don't get me wrong,
bring your tourist money, but leave.
I'm pretty much, yeah. I'm not understating like how much it is growing, but man, don't like when you look at a satellite view of Florida, you do see them coasts and the big metal cities lit up, but you still see, like, look at the Google map of Florida during nighttime.
Yeah.
Look at how much land is not lit up.
Well, I can tell even like I've had this property not quite 2 years now. And when I first got it, I could see no lights from here. Now there's building, I can see lights across there.
Y'all don't understand. When this started like half a year ago of us sitting on his porch, and he's like, someone built a house like a mile away, and I can see the light radiating from here.
Instant anger. Well,
and it's like one of them bright halogen lights.
Well, yeah, and they've got it pointed directly at me, so it's not like it's just a light in the distance. It's like a glaring light.
It looks like a little shiny jewel off in the distance. You really have to stare to notice.
Shut up. But and then they put in the.
I don't like light pollution on my property.
And then about 2 miles away.
Around the curve and then the other curve.
My white privilege is showing. I'm sorry. Like 2 miles away.
Your rural privilege.
Yeah, they've put in that.
And white privilege.
They moved the DOT offices or whatever. So now you got that like glowed up. So I could still feel like I was in like the woods and kind of secluded. And now just like with the lights is like just totally, even though it sounds super minor and it kind of is, but I just feel like the city's there. Like I don't like it.
Yeah, it's growing. But we'll hold out. We'll figure out. Worst case scenario, move to Clewiston. There will never be a city built there.
No,
it's too much muck.
One day, it won't be my times. I envision my little ranch being like a central park.
Private property.
And me just an old man riding around with a shotgun, just yelling, "Get off my lawn!"
Pretty much. So, yeah, all right. Did you do anything this summer besides fly in the land of Lincoln and apply to law school? Not apply, get into law school, I guess.
I picked palmetto berries.
You did pick palmetto berries. That was very badass.
Made
that was very badass.
Ha.
Yeah, I did one.
Yeah, no, because like I said, I'm still waiting, because, college isn't cheap. So I can literally say I paid my first payment of my college tuition with palmetto berry money.
And y'all don't understand, like, he had, like, one of those side-by-side Polaris Gators, like, the bed of it, just filled with berries.
Yeah, I picked over 1 ton.
Which, damn.
I picked, like, 2,200 pounds.
And, Ayon, if I may get into this subject a little bit, do tell about how you went around and, like, where his property is, like, he's got, like, family members around him, and, like, where Palmetto's kind of run, and you did some on your, like, family's property, too, right?
No, I never got there. I basically just did all like.
But what did your one family member tell you?
Oh, my uncle.
By the way, these are palmettos in Florida that no one gives a shit about and tries to get rid of them until recently people found out about palmetto berries. I never even knew they had berries.
Mess with it. Anyways, my uncle was like, "Well, yeah, you can pick mine, but you got to split it. It's like give me half." And I'm like,
No.
I was like, one, it's extremely hard work, and two, like you wouldn't be getting the money for him in the first place.
Yeah.
But the fact that I might go get money out of it, I have to pay you. I was like, I'm good.
My money.
So I just picked all the like I said, but I didn't have that. I ran out of time because school started. But made a little bit of spending money, which is already gone because I'm a poor now.
Yeah. Good. Yes. Welcome to my level.
It was over $1,000 just for books for one semester.
You've given it hell. I have. Let me think. Like outside of my kids this summer, all summer we haven't tried to do anything with cows. It's so damn hot. You get them into the pens, it's dead. Like luckily we haven't tried it or anything like that. I haven't had to. So outside of that, it's been a shitload of fixing fence, improving cow pens. I actually did mechanicking, and let me I want to share this with the masses. I have been mechanically retarded, for the best word I can think of. For I was like, that's too complicated. I don't like. I can change a tire. I can change batteries. I can change oil. I can do like the basic things. But outside, but whenever your tractors break and you're just got to figure this out and you got to
have no option.
You have no. I'm like, I guess I'll get the manual on YouTube and start digging and try to find. And dude, on this giant John Deere tractor we have, I had to find two separate fuse boxes. One's in the cab, one's up by the engine, which I would have never guessed. Use an actual what I tell our old diesel mechanic, I'm like, I'm actually a professional. I have an electric tester. And chased the power from the battery, did all that, was able to, it felt very good to get it started and going, was able to finish spraying, herbicided a lot of fence line when it turned blue, looked like I killed a lot of Smurfs from
It was dark probably when you came in, but our hayfield, you can see where I've smoked that hole, and it's like the only all the Kogan's grass going up on all the other ranches. Our fence line's clean as well. It's not. It's overgrown, but it's all dead.
It's all dead.
as a
Yeah,
whistle.
that's ours.
It's like a proud feeling. It's like
It's a bunch of skeletons.
Yep.
And our hay fields are booming because we did fertilize them. We did a couple of weeks before all this rained, so it was.
Yeah, ours looked real good too. Right before I left to fly, I spot sprayed everything for the smut grass and stuff. So.
And you grow
Hermathia.
Yeah, that's something I want to play with. We grow jigs, but we got that. It's growing tall, and like I herbicided it right, and it's nice. It's pretty. It's nice to have a pretty hay
The only
field.
bad thing with the Hermathia is you can't use like any type of herbicide. It's like super susceptible to everything.
You
So
got pretty
can't
much
even,
spot spray it, right?
Yeah, because you can't even like spray it like you would another field where it just kills like your broadleaf weeds and stuff.
Right.
It'll die. Like
Yeah.
any. It's like the most.
It's
susceptible.
sensitive.
Yeah.
But it's filled with nutrients, and it grows like a damn weed.
Yep. Yeah. So I gotta. It just never ends. But
I did that. I learned how to take apart like big chunks of a big tractor mower and replace that. And that's actually been like, hell yeah, mechanicking. Woo! But yeah, that's been summer and now caught up to here. Today, actually, and I told Merce this when I got here. So like our barn's been damaged since Hurricane Ian. And like we finally, like me and another dude that like really knows what he's doing with barns came out and helped me. And I lost my damn sunglasses, and I'm on a damn metal roof all day. And don't get me wrong, like it was hot, but when you're working in Florida, it's just something to deal with. You figure it out. I got done, but ever since then, I'm like, you said it perfectly. I'm like, it feels like I've been in a pool with too much chlorine for a little too long. Everything's a little hazy and a little blurry. And Merce's like, you burned your retinas today. I'm like, that's it. Yeah, because it is. They're tingly.
just some mild corneal scarring. It's fine.
That matches the concussions I've had. It all lines up.
That's why you don't stare at the sun, people.
I did stay like for a while at the metal roof, like on top of it, like, I'm trying to cut. Oh, dude, cutting tin off the roof, and literally I thought like maybe I should get gloves. I'm a fag, and I take like 3 more snips. It swings and just bam right underneath my fingernail, and just blood everywhere. And it looks better now. You can't see it, but it's because I bite my fingernails too short.
Extreme pain.
Yeah. Little cut, extreme pain and blood everywhere.
I think I gotta have everything. Like you hear like the horror stories and stuff from like Vietnam where they'd shove like the bamboo under their fingernails. That I think was like one of the most painful things. Or somebody said it's like just imagine the thought of putting a needle in your molars and biting down and seeing which side it busts into first, the top or the bottom molar.
Why are you putting this in my head?
I don't know, but ever since that I've been like, just like the crunch and
No, thank you. Don't like it. Not a fan. No. This is bad enough. Anyways, bad.
I will be brushing my teeth extra tonight.
Yeah. I'm not flossing. Hell with that. Hell with a water pick. That sounds scary after that shit. But no, dude, so I think that was the whole damn summer. Oh, finally threw a saddle on my horse. I've been wanting to for like 6 months, but my new rule is like I get home early, I screw with this horse. Not literally. Hang on. Phrasing. Yeah. But no, it's an awesome like young buckskin horse named Hunter, and I finally put a saddle on him. Finally put a halter on him. And he was like, dude, I was proud of him. He doesn't really know what whoa means. He doesn't really know what let's go means, but he's so personable. He's like, I'm trying to kind of figure out I'm not fighting you too hard. You could tell he's uncomfortable with the saddle, but everything was going fine until that stupid ass long haired dog that I rescued just came up and bit him on the back of the knee. And then he's like, oh, to hell with all this. I'm just running in circles. I'm letting you go. I'm not dragging you. I'm not fighting you. And he ran into a stall. I calmed him down, but
everything's on fire.
That's what they act like, stupid animals. Love them, stupid animals, though. God, they'll kill themselves. You know from Rosie. They'll
I still don't know how she didn't just cartwheel and murder me at some point.
Yeah, that was wild. For record, for those of y'all that didn't hear previous episodes, we went to cross a creek on horse, and he was riding a horse named Rosie, and it like got in a little bit of soft sand and just decided, I'm dead. Blop, flopped over.
Well, no, you knocked me over.
Oh, that's right.
You turned your horse and ran into me and my horse, and then she stepped down in the mud and then like fell down. And then just refused to get back up.
She's like, I'm not moving. I'm dying.
I was referring to the fact that she's just extremely not sure-footed.
No.
Will trip over her own feet. And I don't know how many times I'd be in a full gallop and she would start to stumble. I was basically just bracing myself at any point to just be going, knowing I was going over the saddle horn. And I was like, at any point, I just got to be able to tuck and try to roll.
And here's the thing: when she sees cows, she's like sure-footed. It's like, I know what we're doing. I'm more sure-footed.
I don't know if she's just daydreaming the rest of the time and not paying attention.
Goof.
But, it's always like terrifying to have in the back of your mind. No, at any point, as I'm hauling ass, this horse could just explode out from underneath me.
Josh, while your family's going through this difficult time, I will loan you my services. You want to ride one of the craziest horses we got? Not crazy, but just goofy.
Goofy. No, she's a great tempered horse. But
and people don't ask us how many hands or even, I know it's a quarter horse and it's sorrel colored. I'm not a horse person. I just ride the damn things. But yeah, so that's personal business. What's been new in the world?
I mean, my response to normal things is when you ask that question is it's on fire. But now Maui has actually been on fire.
Got on fire. Maui caught some heat, son.
Yeah. Unless it's blue, apparently.
No, I don't. That's a smoke screen.
Yeah, I don't believe that either. But I do believe there's something fishy going on 100%. I don't think it was space lasers.
One of the I kind of want to believe it's space lasers. What if Marjorie Taylor Greene is right?
Terrifying.
Do you know what she tweeted that one time about Jewish space lasers?
No, I don't remember.
Dude, she's America's craziest soccer mom.
Yeah, okay, that's probably a great way to put it. She's America's Karen.
she has a drinking problem, but whiskey too.
I 100% believe that, yes, the government has the power to probably start fires and burn stuff from space. Not doubting that at all.
I've seen some patent numbers.
I don't think that's what happened in Maui.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they didn't start fires, but I don't think they shot lasers and set stuff.
Well, a good person.
My conspiracy, though, is all the kids that are missing, they're on an island and they're getting raped.
Jesus Christ. Just FYI, everybody.
It's like we had
just make a note, bleep that one part out so we don't get totally nuked in the algo.
You can't
rhythm.
say.
No, dude, everybody bleeps that.
Oh, okay.
Everybody. We should probably start bleeping more things and let people infer it. But thanks, 100 people that are still listening. That's good.
Well, no, anyways, but that's my. It was so weird about it. Like, you can't find all the kids. The parents were at work. Then the fires happened. They blocked everything down. Parents couldn't get home to the kids, and all these kids are just missing.
All right. Devil's advocate.
They're either toaster strudels, or they're on Epstein Island number 2.
And from what I understand, I mean, I'm no damn arson expert, but from what I understand, like even when people burn up in a house fire, there's still like bones left, and they're still like they don't. That's not like a cremation. It doesn't get that hot for that long. From what I I could be really stupidly wrong. But that's what.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, there's something weird for like, and I don't know. It's hard to hear the stories, and so many people are saying people are just like gone. Like,
devil's advocate, and I'll say this: I've been pretty guarded about this story because it's so. There's so many weird things to it, and there's such minimal explanation for all of it. The conspiracy theories run rampant. They just naturally.
Yeah.
And I'm not besmirching the conspiracy theories. Hey guys, I'm one of y'all. I'm right here with y'all. But just I like knowing the truth a lot more than than just grasping at it. And from what I understand, like the stuff where I'm going to quote from is the awesome lefty Jimmy Dore. He's a lefty, but he's like very good at questioning the official narrative and the official story.
Is he the one that's over there, or
does he live in Hawaii?
I don't know. There was some reporter that was over there that the few times he's asked questions, he's been like really shut down, and then he's been being followed and stuff.
Jimmy Dore has a podcast, and he's kind of like an old school lefty of like, hey, I don't like corporations and corporate power influencing, and I can probably disagree with him on a lot of politics, but he seems genuine, very honest, very questioning stuff.
Oh, so he's just not crazy or insane.
Pretty much. Yeah. And he was
he's wrong. He just
Sure, but even him, like, something I appreciate about him, he'll be like, I don't know enough about economic theory to really debate this. That's just how I feel. And I'm like,
really, the majority of us don't.
True, very true. He's just honest about it. But no, so I'm like, just some of the stuff he said, and he doesn't grasp at really crazy straws, and he tries to have video evidence for what he's showing. But we all saw the video of the cop showing, like you shared it with me, It's like the survivors of the fire are there for emergency supplies that the government should, which I'm like, as anti-government as I am, like, that's probably something the government should do.
Well, I think it was like their
one.
own lines that they'd set up for themselves.
And a cop showed up and said, y'all need to disperse. And I don't even know why I'm telling y'all this, but this is an order from up top.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know why you guys should have to. And then I saw like yesterday that they're bringing in like their own ships to give them aid because they're still not getting.
Oh,
anything.
yeah, there were smugglers on Sea-Doos bringing them frickin' supplies, like
water.
dodging cops.
Yeah, it's the whole thing is just insane.
Jimmy Dore had like a big compilation and breakdown. Really, kudos to him. Look up the Jimmy Dore show, especially left, right, center. Somebody should listen to. But he they showed that. They showed people like they're driving through, and it's like their dash cam or their phone. They're driving through a thick black smoke neighborhood. And like the smoke is getting like lighter and lighter, and they're like, "Oh, we're getting out of the fire." And like literally, there's a barricade of cops going, "Turn around and go back."
Yeah,
and it's like, what?
Yeah, it's the whole premise is insane. Then the manager, the water district manager, turned off the water
For the firefighters.
And then
the emergency system never goes off.
No, the chief. The emergency chief of police
was
the same one from the Vegas shooting. Yeah, same guy.
Okay, so to lay this out, the guy who was, I don't think he was the police chief of Las Vegas, but he might have been like...
Those odds aren't even in Vegas. Those odds are insane.
They are for a Jason Aldean concert. But no, so he was the chief commanding officer? That sounds like the title I heard about him. And in the shooting situation in Las Vegas, and he got transferred to Hawaii after that fiasco to like be the chief commanding operations out there.
Which seems like a promotion. Oh, here, go live on a. But
really does. Really seems like a sweet gig. And that stuff from, like I said, Jimmy Dore just didn't say this crazy stuff. He backed it up, and he even gave like I'll try play like a little bit of devil's advocate. Like, who knows, maybe the people driving from the fire, like they would have been driving into a worst fire they couldn't have seen yet. Like, I'm trying to.
I can even see that, but then it's like, why aren't we helping them now?
And there's so much of it.
Like media blackouts, the people can't talk. The little bit you're getting out of them, all of them are just saying how screwed up it is. The fact that the city was trying to get the land for 50, there's just so much random. I don't.
And I'm quoting the like freaking amazing, sometimes disappointing.
And the guy, I guess the way it's set up, he's also the coroner.
Oh yeah, that's great.
So he's going to be able to just sign off on the people that are missing.
There's reports, and I don't know how true they are. I mean, it's hard to tell of a ton of missing kids, and that's like, if that's true, that's a big if. That's bonkers. That's wild. Hey, I don't like Donald Trump, and I personally think he should be held for some war crimes and violations of the Constitution, but Pizzagate is aging a lot better than Trump than Russiagate. But however,
I don't know. The one thing that's terrifying is, like we're on the brink of all this war stuff, and then now there's been an attack on Hawaii, and if history repeats itself. The last time there was an attack in Hawaii.
Got to go fight some Japanese folks, I guess.
Yeah,
that's what. To hell with Russia and China. That's the new war. Japan.
Well, no, there's about to be Taiwan and China.
Nintendo.
You got Taiwan and China,
dude. And I tell you, that's like, I'll hear great ideas from someone like I'm gonna say it right, Vivek Ramaswamy.
It's Vivek.
I thought it was too, but. And I guess he's kind of gone with it, but I guess it's technically pronounced Vivek Ramaswamy. Wow. Anyways, I'm just being a technical dick. No, he says some great stuff I really like, and then he's like, war with China over Taiwan. We're doing it tomorrow. Fighting. I'm like, unless you're just planning on launching a ton of nukes.
So I want to know why the U.S. thinks that Taiwan has the right to secede from China.
Yeah.
But the South had no right to say.
Hang on. We might get monetized one day. But I see where you're going. I'm not saying they had the right. Yeah, you got the right to leave a nasty relationship. But hang on. This thing about Hawaii, it's a quote from the great, but sometimes disappointing Dave Smith, but mostly great, mostly phenomenal. So many people think of the government in completely backwards terms. And it's how it's taught to us. But it's this is the idea that we're taught is this is like the government is something like a human rights organization. That's the intention of it. And it just gets co-opted by these bad people that are greedy and power hungry. And they turn this noble thing into like a bad thing. But it would be like really great if these bad people would leave it alone. It's like, so you're looking at it backwards.
Yeah.
This is a gang. This is a violent gang that's dominated a territory.
Well,
That disguises itself as a human rights organization. Like it pretends to be one.
The government only exists, like, I mean, literally in law school, it's like we're learning, even like right now. But like,
I looked at the book, it's scary.
Yeah, well, like the government only exists, everything in it is from the Constitution. All your crazy districts or your authorities, your agencies, and all these things, like, they've all just been a law that's passed. There's nothing in the Constitution that says or even suggests that they should exist.
Yeah.
Like
it's all
you know, the court system, the Constitution literally says one court.
Really?
Yeah, but then Congress has the authority to enact other courts lower courts if needed. So our entire judicial system that's been put into place is just been done by Congress.
Yeah. Well, and there's so much to it. Like now they don't even have to sign off for wars because we don't have wars anymore. It's police actions. So they never have to put their name to it. It's so much of it. It's just when you actually like break it apart and dissect it, it's such a like fucked up lie. But there's something like really interesting to it. And I've been thinking about this, like outside of technology and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, like I guess this is true for all governments, but like I really mean this about like the federal government. And I'm not sure what to replace it with, but like I know that like it really depends on. It's the closest thing to magic I've like ever seen. Like I'm talking about like dumb like B-movie vampire magic. And what I mean is like literally its very existence depends on people believing in it. A majority of people believing in it and enforcing
like
it.
Santa Claus.
Almost like
that's always the premise of the movie is like you have to believe in me so my sleigh can fly.
It's almost like if everybody in the world believes the world is flat. Flat earthers. Calling you out, bad boys. But if everybody, then like no one ever tries to dispute it or challenge it or anything like that. Like the world might as well be flat according to humans then. If there is no like way to distinguish, but it's like, so if we always have the need for some governing body to do this human rights horse shit, like it depends on people believing in the enforcement of it. Mm-hmm. It like literally, like, you know, you can touch a building, you can touch a coffee mug, a pen, a person. You can't touch a government. You can't. It's like this abstract. It's human imagination.
Yeah,
just doing shit and trying to organize shit. And the other thing about it was, what the hell? Looking at your like some of that law in there, and like you were like, make sure I got this right, law boy. It's all case law, which is like building upon previous interpretations of this older law and how it's been countered and
essentially
argued,
the U.S.
right?
is set up mainly under what would be like common law to an extent, which is
right.
even based on law coming back from Great Britain. I mean, there's stuff like back to the 1600s. And then from the common law, you know, they've enacted the statutes,
mm-hmm.
which then have to be passed. And so it's like kind of like a joint between the two, where if it's, say, like the common law is kind of vague, they've got statutes to really put the actual, like, kind of specifics down.
Right.
But it's still based on, you know, stuff. There's like, it was one of the section, I think it's like 18 something, but it's like, it's illegal for you to let your pig in a fenced-in public area where it might destroy the grass.
Yeah.
Like, that's an actual, like, statute. Like,
and the crazy
federally.
And there's so many laws, you know, borrow another little chunk of Dave Smith. Like, when it comes to speed limits, like, what is the law? Like, sure, that sign says 60 miles an hour, but if a cop actually won't ever pull you over until you're at 66, it's like, well, the real speed limit is 66. Like, that's the... I
did see a thing here... Was it this year, last year, that they were passing the thing that there's going to be no more leeway? There's going to like not going to be like a 5 mile, like they're not going to give you that. Like they're going to, if they want to, they'll stop you for 1 mile an hour over.
Yeah, and they're pulling everybody over that doesn't wear a seatbelt.
That I still don't get that one. Like I said, if I want to go fly through my own windshield and splatter my face on the asphalt, it's my God-given right.
Because it's not about improving the human condition. It's truly just to...
It's a way to stop you, and it's a way to revenue.
And like when you take off your, like, everything from the TSA, I think it's all literally, like, just to make you obedient to this thing.
Yeah.
And that's what it's mostly about. Hell, the TSA I don't believe they've ever actually stopped a bomb going through.
There's a whole thing on that. It's more of a, it's more for peace of mind for the public. They want to feel like that there's this grand security thing there when they've actually proven like how kind of ineffective TSA actually is.
It literally, the law, specifically, I don't know, maybe there's some country where it's different, but based on my Western, South American, Southern American ass knowledge of things, like, the law requires you to suspend, like, the current reality and inject this, like, lawyer translated reality. That is bonkers. That is, like, in so many different aspects, it's just completely bonkers.
Well, like I said, so guys, the symbol, like, the law truly is blind, because in a lot of times you look at something and be like, oh, the logical, like, what you would logically think or to do doesn't apply. You have to actually go by the law and then, like, to the letter. Like, sometimes I have to look at the definition of something and be like, oh, I can see, well, this is what the intention was and what should happen, but because the law is actually defined as this, it has to go this way.
Right.
And it's sometimes it works to the advantage, other times it's like, I don't know. And I can see why, because that's the only way to guarantee true fairness as much as possible.
Yeah.
You can't let it...
He did finger quotes when he said fairness.
Well, it's great because you can't let... Because, like I said, say if one time you try to construe it this way or look to, like, kind of make it work to fit here, you've now, because it's based on case law, you've now set that precedent for every case to come after it.
Right.
So you can't afford to make those leniencies, which is... I don't know. It's crazy, and that's why it's so confusing, and that's why law school's hard.
And that way, if that interpretation,
I've only been there a couple weeks, and I know nothing.
Even the current, like, at the time when they make, like, a new, not amendment, but a new statute. It's like, oh, based on our current understanding, here's the rule for everybody, and it's like our current understanding is folly.
Well, I mean, that's if the Supreme Court does it and it's binding, then it's for everybody, or it's just binding to the state.
Right.
It depends on where it's set.
A jurisdiction and yada yada.
Like I said, I'm a beginning law student. I'm sure there's actual attorneys.
This is law talk with the Bandit and the Merce.
Or there's people that are higher that have been studying longer. Like, this guy's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's doing, because I don't. I have no idea what I'm doing other than reading, and I have no life now. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Speaking about, all right, on that, like, constitutionality, I got one more juicy thing for us. That was phrasing. No. All right. So speaking of, I'm rocking the table again. All right, to the point. I've said it since the beginning, Merce. DeSantis, something doesn't smell right about him.
Yeah. Like I said,
I've appreciated the lockdowns, like ending them for Florida, and even though he wasn't as good as South Dakota, like.
No, he did step up, and I thought he did a great job through all that, and was just like, we're just gonna let people do their own thing, and then there's just something.
Disney, I don't have a strong opinion on either. A damn cartoon mouse shouldn't have its own jurisdiction in the first place.
I agree with that in the first place. If you want to do whatever, if they want to go completely bonkers crazy, that's fine. But they shouldn't be
just wall off that city.
But they shouldn't be able to have, like,
preferable laws for them. Like, no corporation should, but a lot of them do, which sucks. But, all right, got a good friend. She said, oh, you're a fan of podcasts? You need to listen to these, like, left-wingers that... I say left-wingers. Supposedly the guy used to be a libertarian. The show is called Behind the Bastards. Phenomenal idea for a show. What they do, this guy does a very deep dive. Him and his two crafty co-hosts do a deep dive on, like, whoever it is that day. It might be Jeff Bezos. It might be Elon Musk. It might be blah, blah, blah. They got to Ron DeSantis. And it was like a 2-parter episode, 1 hour apiece. So far, I've only listened to the first episode, if I'm being perfectly honest. And I guess this is podcast review with the Bandit on his podcast, but I digress. I had a lot of faith in this person that recommended me the show. And that faith almost got completely destroyed in the first 30 minutes. In the first 30 minutes, now this guy, he just sounds like, and I got this like beautiful Southern drawl of voice.
Easy on your review because we're not.
He's much bigger than me.
I was gonna say we're not making art over here ourselves.
No, we're total shitheads. Like, no, I'll give him this. The dude prepares his shit much better than we do. Then I just scribble for 30 minutes before we start. But so he spends the first 30 minutes talking about Ron DeSantis' Little League career. And really,
What position did he play?
I did not care enough. I would just tune in and out. It's like, and this person said him. That
I feel like he was a coach's kid.
It sounds like Rich Boy and Dockers playing him, but like star athlete. And it's like, this person said he was really good, but kind of a mean guy. And this person said he was a great leader, but kind of a dick. And there's just a lot of that. I'm like,
well, yeah, you can tell that by looking at him.
yeah. He's got that energy. And finally, when I was about like getting ready to turn it off, they go, now we're to Guantanamo Bay. And I was like my fucking brain cells kicked in. I'm like, oh, I've completely forgotten about him having anything to do with Guantanamo Bay. I've just barely heard he had something to do with it. So God bless these guys. They do a good deep dive. I guess what he went into the Marines, and he says that a lot, that he was in the Marines, but he was like a Marine lawyer. Like he went over there and practically,
because I remember he's in dress whites
and he
in his stuff.
How they described it in layman's terms, what his job was to go over to Afghanistan or Iraq or wherever, be in an office and go, is it legal to bomb these people or these people? And he would go, this is what's legal, this is what's illegal, right? That was like for the most part. Then they ship him to Guantanamo Bay. Now, I got to take a real hard side note and give my thoughts on Guantanamo. 10 years ago, back when Bill O'Reilly ruled Fox News and I listened to everything they said, I just said, Guantanamo is an absolute necessity. We have nothing but terrorists down there that just get around our little rules in the Constitution to just want to blow up good Americans. And that's we can't stand for that. Now, especially since like Julian Assange and some of this, no, Snowden didn't leak anything about that, but a lot of WikiLeaks I've read, there's a lot of damn innocent people down there. A lot that are just held there.
There's a lot of innocent people everywhere.
There is.
Look at the people on January 6th.
True. Very true.
Like one guy just got 16 years.
Yeah. It's all screwed up across the board. But I'll say this. On January 6th, hang on, my heart goes to, and even if it was BLM like marching on, I don't know about BLM, maybe not that. But my heart goes out to
if you were just marching.
Anybody scaring Congress people. I don't support it, but like I don't advocate for it, but if it hey, that's.
Even like be like that. If you were just like marching and like truly like expressing your opinion, that's fine. I got no problem with that. You actually like burning stuff down, then yeah, it's a problem. But they really didn't destroy anything. The few people like, and then like the one guy that's not in jail. The one guy moved a podium.
No, okay.
And then the cops broke the window.
I'll tell you this: the stuff I did see destroyed, and the stuff like the people I saw not doing a whole lot besides being dumb rednecks or a bit dumb.
I said the people that are getting jail like in serious time really didn't do anything but be stupid.
Yeah, but digress. Apart from that, Guantanamo. Keep trying to focus on that. Like I saw one special, and it was on
a solid cheerleading team.
Yeah,
they make pyramids and everything.
And like when you find out about like what was the place in Iraq that we were torturing people, I brought it up one episode. I can't remember.
I thought that was Guantanamo where they would put them on. They made the human pyramid.
No, that was Al-Bashar. Not Al-Bashar. I think that's from Call of Duty. But I can't remember the name of it. It was some prison camp in Iraq that like they did a lot worse things than the news said. I just know that. Pretty certain. We've talked, listen to a previous episode, go back and listen. But I know at Guantanamo, they were waterboarding people, and the best example I've heard of this, where they hang them at an incline and pour water on them. I remember there was
a rat with a rag over their face.
There was a guy named Cowhead, and no, not the Tampa radio host. It was a different guy named Cowhead.
He's Mike Calta now.
Yeah, he's Mike Calta. This was a different weird guy named Cowhead. He was a big conservative. He said, I'm going to prove that waterboarding is not near as bad as anyone says. I'm going to have them do it to me like on my radio show. And he made it for like 10 seconds and was like crying and throwing up. And he's like, we do this to people for like 10 to 20 minutes or like what? But anyways, they were doing that at Guantanamo. And it wasn't.
Torture needs to be effective.
And don't get me wrong. Like, my honest thoughts are, if there actually was going to be someone that was going to, like, blow up a building of children or something like that, and we had to, like, do what we had to make him stop that, sure. And that's what I think most people imagine. Like, we got to have a way to stop that. It's like, but like the January Sixers, like a lot of the people in a lot of different protest movements that have been swept up with stuff, there's innocent people that get a label slapped on them and they're put away.
See, yeah, I can see that. But and for the torture aspect, I think you should be allowed to do it. But here's a twist: you're allowed to fight back. They put you in a room, and you've got to fist fight the guy.
How many guys?
One at a time, but they're just going to keep coming.
That's
like you can only. You're going.
So torture is okay.
Yes.
You would let Joe Biden send soldier after soldier to beat the hell out. At least you're going out swinging, I guess.
Yeah, like you I mean, yeah, but I feel like you at least have the still freedom of choice.
I don't trust the government with that power. I'll put it like that.
Well, I mean, I'd rather have that option than be waterboarded.
Yeah. Well, true. Waterboarding's just gay. Like, pick one. Pick hard torture or nothing. But like the one guy I saw interviewed, who knows, this is the 1 out of 10, but I've seen a lot. I'm still sticking to Guantanamo. This guy was like half German, half frickin' Arabic. He probably got counterfeit watches. I don't frickin' know, from one place, like from Arabia. It's not Arabia, Saudi Arabia to Germany. And like that was, and like the CIA just like grabbed him, scooped him up, tortured him for years. He appealed. They finally found out he was innocent. They dropped his ass off in the middle of the desert, said, walk back to Germany, and hopefully you die.
Yeah.
I think I talked about this on a previous episode. Like, terrible shit. And like the guy was like, I'm going to sue the CIA because I can prove I was innocent. And Germany's like, nah, you're not.
It's just don't.
No. So, saying all that, back to Behind the Bastards. Like that's my current thoughts on Guantanamo. They're doing it to a lot of innocent people. And the government's one of the worst. The American federal government's one of the worst things to ever exist. So I don't trust them with this power. Ron DeSantis is a Marine lawyer. He gets out of Iraq or Afghanistan or wherever the hell it was. He comes back over here, and they put him in charge. He's kind of doing the same thing he was in Iraq or Afghanistan or whatever, but he's deciding on what is torture or not. And he is interviewing what happens at Guantanamo. There's a lot of people that go on hunger strike. And they say, we're not eating anymore, we're in a center, we're unjustly in prison, whatever, yada, yada, yada. Who knows? Probably some of them are some people that want to kill Americans. So, like, for those people, I don't feel bad for. I'm talking about the innocent folks.
It's also a way of, people have been there, too. They want to commit suicide as well. They literally want to.
Which, hey, let them kill themselves.
Yeah.
Well, I guess unless they got information that leads to, but whatever. So they go on hunger strike, and I guess, like, this is from Behind the Bastards and from some thing they request. This is the guy's testimony, the prisoner. So it's biased, of course. But he says, in comes very handsome Ron DeSantis. And he's like, hey, I'm here to like take your comments and concerns over how y'all are being treated here. And the prisoner's like, oh, we're kind of being like psychologically tortured. They play loud music and don't let us sleep. They keep the lights on. They do, the typical screw with prisoners stuff. Yeah. Run of the mill, it kind of sounds like, but just shitty treatment of humans. And right after all this, Ron DeSantis says, well, like, all right, you know what? Like, I'm gonna take this back, and I'm gonna let them know your concerns. The guy sees Ron DeSantis leave, and it's like a couple of days later, he's pulled out of a cell, and he's strapped down in a chair, and he says he has, like, there's a male nurse, like petty officer, or drill sergeant, something like a drill sergeant, but it's not a drill sergeant, and a bunch of guys in suits off to the side, or like the nice military outfits. Yeah. And he says they take a feeding tube, and while he's strapped in this chair, and the male nurse shoves it up his nose, and he's like, I can feel it like ripping my nose, going to the back of my throat, and down into my stomach. And he said, then they start, like, on the other end of this hose, they got, like, a bag that, or I don't know, it's not an IV, but it sounds like, and it's Ovaltine or something they're pumping into it, like, directly into him. He's like, I'm choking, I can't breathe, I'm, like, I can tell I'm bleeding from my nose and, like, my throat. And he goes, and they're pumping me so full of this stuff, I'm about to freaking drown in it. And he goes, that time, like, the army guy or whoever says, like, if you spit any of this up, we will make you puke it up, and we will start all this all over again. And he says, in the middle of all this, he looks over at, like, the well-dressed military guys, and there's DeSantis, like, watching all this happen. And I'm like, oh, all right, you queefy hippies I've been listening to about Little League bullshit that I pegged for just Democrats. Like, no, they're better than that. So and you don't, whether or not you could argue the ethics of what Ron DeSantis approved or had something to do with, maybe that needed to happen to that guy. Maybe it didn't. Like, I'm not here to argue that one bit. You sure don't hear the media talking about that.
I mean, had they not done that, dude could have been dead.
And you would think if Democrats were worth a damn, they could. Dude, he saved the guy's life. He's pro-life.
Ron, he's a hero.
Pro-Palestinian life, actually. What do you know? You might have pissed off some Jews with that one. Who am I kidding? He ain't gonna do that. He also signed the law we talked about, which is bonkers. But anyways,
with a little hat.
Yes. But guys, we're back. Sorry. I had to kick. I knew there was something slimy about the bastard. I couldn't trust it. There's something about his face, and there's something about the people that donated to him.
It's the meme going around, when he gets done saying something, he's got this weird little fake,
yeah.
But it's like a smile where he's doesn't know what to do with his face.
He looks exactly like Homelander from The Boys.
Yeah, the smile, the face, the facial expression.
He's screaming at everybody from behind his eyes.
Yeah, I can say that. He doesn't. I think he did really good on some things, but he just doesn't seem like that personable. And
it's not even that. I don't care if they're personable. Andrew Jackson wasn't personable. I take that back. I don't want genocide of Native Americans. He did adopt a couple, but I'm not. Let's not go that route.
We talk about one of the law classes. They're and there's certain cases where the judge,
sometimes genocide's okay.
They're they're talking about the checks and balances. The
judicial,
the judiciary, it comes in and says to the president, you can't do that. Or you're Andrew Jackson and you just do it anyways.
I don't care. Read my letter 5 days after I've done it.
Yeah, it's like Trail of Tears. It doesn't
scoot.
Yeah.
But so yeah, and guys, I know sometimes I kick conservatives, but it's because Republicans, and it's because at least Democrats, we all just kind of know. I like digging into the more hidden stuff we don't really know about. But hey, I know for the most part we did weekly episodes normally. We're
still gonna try, but my schedule is insane.
Mine too. It's rough. So between work, between my kids, between his lawyering, the shudders make me think. We're gonna be here as much as we can, provide y'all with some decent entertainment. If y'all have listened this long, for real, thank y'all. That's kick ass. Thank you for all the support. Leave a like, leave a comment, share with your friends. If you think I'm dumb as shit, wrong about something, please. I'm enlightened to know. Not enlightened, I'm happy to know. God,
you are.
I sound like a douche. Sorry, buddy.
You do.
Yeah, all the time. Take it easy, San Diego.